I'm Grace Coven, and this is my my persuasive speech for public speaking one on genetically modified organisms. What is the one thing that binds all of us together? Food. Every human has to eat. The year is 2030, and the United Nations has estimated in an online article published in 2017 that the global population has ballooned to 8.5 billion. Food is scarce, nutritious food is hard to find, and people are starving. This is the harsh reality the world is facing if we continue to stick to traditional farming practices. However, this issue can be changed if we are able to use genetically modified organisms. To begin with, in an online article published by Forbes in 2014, John Entine stated, "In short, genetically modified foods are among the most extensively studied scientific subjects in history." The paper's conclusion is unequivocal. There is no credible evidence that GMOs pose any unique threat to the environment or public health. In my opinion, Entine could not be more correct. Genetically modified organisms have the potential to be a huge benefit to our crop production and yield, human nutrition levels, and the overall health of our market animals. Next, in an online article published by the American Media Association in 2017, they said genetically modified organisms have a long and controversial history. GMOs have been used since prehistoric time, though the process wasn't always conducted in a science lab. GMOs were originally used to create hybrid plants. This began during the time of hunters and gatherers. The gatherers that produced the food, and by growing it, would crossbreed plants that were producing well for the hopes of creating a better plant. These were their hybrid plants. During the 1900s, scientists from Europe began using Gregor Mendel's theory of classic selection. Mendel's theory stated that related variety of plants can be crossed to produce a plant with a more desirable phenotype as well as genotype. After many more discoveries and tests in the field of GMOs, in 1980, the United States Supreme Court ruled on the case of Diamond versus Chakrabarty. The court ruled that genetically modified organisms could be patented. The case represented a major landmark in GMO history. In 1982, the United States Food and Drug Administration approved the first genetically modified drug. Field tests were conducted in the United States in 1987, and finally, in 1992, the U.S. FDA declared that genetically modified foods are not inherently dangerous. Next, extensive testing on GMOs has proved that these foods have many benefits that other plants simply don't possess. GMOs are capable of higher production rates, insect resistance, and increased nutrients that other plants simply don't have. Again, the global population is expected to be 8.5 billion by the year 2030. Farmers will be unable to keep up with the amount of food needed to feed this many people without the use of GMOs and their advanced technology. Genetically modified organisms also make the most sense economically. Many GMOs have been genetically modified to possess a gene for insect resistance. This eliminates the need for pesticides and insecticides. Without pesticides and insecticides, the public concern about these extra chemicals added to their foods will be greatly relieved. Pesticides and insecticides are chemicals used to kill bugs that harm or hurt the crop population. In an article published in 2017 online by the United States Department of Agriculture, it was estimated that approximately 89% of corn grown in the U.S. is genetically modified to be herbicide resistant. Herbicides are chemicals that are lethal to plants. These chemicals have previously been at fault for killing large portions of farmers' crops, but GMOs can protect plants from these chemicals. The World Health Organization has also released their research further proving that through the use of the bacterium Bacillus thuringiensis, crops can develop a resistance to insects, which greatly reduces the need for spray on pesticides. Furthermore, in many third world countries, people can't afford the nutrient-rich foods they need to survive. GMOs provide a way for food to hold more nutrients, which can improve the overall health in these countries, further improving the human health by providing more nutritious food in a greater quantity, which also is cheaper for these people in third world countries. It's estimated that at least one child dies every 2 seconds worldwide from starvation. GMOs provide a way to make more food and make it more nutritional. The death rate is entirely too high for a problem we have a solution to: GMOs. Scientists are now working on creating edible vaccine through the use of GM technology. These vaccines have enormous potential. They have the ability to immunize entire populations from everything from cholera to AIDS, all from eating a potato. GMOs have the potential to immunize people, help stop world hunger, and provide more nutritious meals through crop production than ever before. Also, animals have been genetically engineered for human use. According to the United States Food and Drug Administration, in an online article published in 2017, there are several kinds of genetically engineered animals. These types are biofarm, research, xenotransplant, companion, disease-resistant, and food use. Some of these types are for humans and helping us feel more love through companion animals, but a lot of these are for medical research like biofarm and disease-resistant, but we also use our market animals in this food use production. Biofarm animals are used for producing substances that have a pharmaceutical use for humans, such as insulin production. Research animals have DNA that have been altered to make them more susceptible to diseases like cancer. These animals that are more likely to have cancer are able for animals to treat them, for scientists to treat them and test out their new technologies without endangering human lives. Xenotransplant animals are used to grow organs, tissues, and cells which can then be transplanted into humans, another way that these animals are able to help humans. Companion animals are used in order to make better pets for animals. For example, some animals like dogs and cats have had their DNA altered to make them hypoallergenic. Disease-resistant animals are animals that have had their DNA altered to make them more resistant to common diseases such as mastitis in cows or bovine spongiform encephalopathy, commonly known as mad cow disease. Mad cow disease is known for being extremely fatal to cattle herds. The disease causes the brain and spinal cord to degenerate, and without proper modified genetics, this disease can be prevented. The kind of genetic engineering has the potential to protect entire cattle herds as well as the human population. Lastly, food use animals are animals that have had their DNA altered to make them a more sustainable food source. For example, tests have been conducted on pigs which allow them to produce omega-3 fatty acids commonly found in fish naturally. These acids can then be used in vitamin form for human consumption, but they also allow the pigs to have a more healthy life until they're used for food use. Finally, genetic engineering has the potential to protect entire herds of animals, produce healthier food sources, and give scientists a new way to develop treatments and technologies for diseases fatal to humans. There's much controversy behind GMOs, but through these three uses, especially in their benefits to animals, plants, and humans, I think it's very easy to see that the benefits far outweigh the risk factors that we're not sure about yet. In conclusion, genetically modified organisms, crops, and animals have the potential to lead to a bright and promising future for the global population. Genetically modified organisms have the potential to be a huge benefit to our crop production yield, human nutrition levels, and the overall health of our market animals.
Good job, 734.